there is a whisper that threads through society, a haunting reminder of how easily we can lose our identity. Some say, we are all under their control. Humans are just livestock. This startling statement may sound extreme, but think about how often we're influenced by the opinions and expectations of others. We might find ourselves following paths laid out for us, living by rules we didn't create, and quieting the voice of our own heart for fear of being judged. When we abide by this silent contract, it can feel as though our spirits are herded into small enclosures, with our dreams and desires sacrificed for the comfort of the status quo. Yet, in the middle of this unsettling thought, there is a gentle invitation. We have the power to break free. Every day, you carry the capacity for self-awareness, a light within that can illuminate the invisible barriers placed around your life. When you look inward, you may see where fear and limitation hold sway. You may notice an inner critic that mimics the voices of those who once said you weren't good enough, or that your aspirations were too grand. In that noticing, there is choice. You no longer have to surrender to these illusions of control. Yes, you are free to question the beliefs society or family implanted in your mind. You are free to imagine yourself beyond labels and limitations. Rather than viewing yourself as a commodity or a product designed to fulfill a predetermined role, you can begin to recognize your inherent value, a value that is not measured by what you achieve in the eyes of others, but by the radiant core of who you are. This is where true change begins. Acknowledging that inside you is a source of authority, love, and wisdom that cannot be tamed by outside forces. So stay with me as we journey inward, weaving together compassion, self-discovery, and spiritual insight. The transformation doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds in each conscious breath and loving thought you direct toward yourself. When you remember that you are more than the collective expectations put upon you, you begin to find liberation in even the smallest of actions, like choosing to speak kindly to yourself or daring to prioritize your own well-being. These are not selfish acts. They are powerful declarations that you will no longer be corralled by fear, guilt, or shame. As we delve into each section, keep your heart open. Feel free to reflect on each statement, take notes, or gently repeat affirmations that resonate with you. Trust that this is an ongoing process, a patient unfolding of your potential. Let each step be a reminder that your worth isn't negotiated by external forces, but affirmed by your inner knowing. Within you lies an expansive realm of possibility, ready to be claimed. And with each breath you take, you align more deeply with the truth that you are far more than society's labels, or anyone's attempt to diminish your radiant uniqueness. We've all felt it, the tug of other people's expectations. It can begin early in life, when a parent, teacher, or peer tells us what we should become or how we should behave. Over time, these voices accumulate like layers of paint, obscuring the original colors of our soul. The illusion of external control thrives on these subtle messages, suggesting that our value is determined by how well we fulfill roles, meet standards, or keep the peace. This illusion gains momentum when we internalize its commands. We start to believe that success depends on meeting society's checklist, or that love must be earned through compliance. In truth, these external scripts can form powerful patterns in our subconscious. They tell us what is possible or impossible, define what is normal, and even determine who is worthy of being heard. If left unchallenged, these beliefs imprison us in a life we may never have chosen freely. But here's a comforting revelation. The moment you become aware that such control exists, you create a crack in its foundation. Awareness is like a gentle beam of light that reveals how flimsy these structures of limitation truly are. You might have encountered a sudden epiphany, a book you read, a passing conversation, or a moment of stillness where you realized, I don't actually agree with this. That spark of recognition can ignite profound change. A practical first step is to write down the beliefs you suspect aren't yours. Perhaps you were told you're not creative, or that sensitivity is a weakness, or that dreaming too big is a recipe for disappointment. Lay them out, observe them, and question them gently. Ask yourself, who told me this? Do I genuinely believe this, or did I simply inherit someone else's worldview? This exercise alone can loosen the grip of external constraints, reminding you that you're allowed to choose what resonates with your inner truth. Remember, it's not about blaming those who shaped us. They likely operated from their own set of inherited beliefs. Rather, it's about empowerment. By discerning which beliefs nurture your growth and which stifle it, you reclaim your autonomy. You start to see that within each moment lies the power of conscious choice. When you begin to sense the heaviness of these outside demands, pause for a breath. Close your eyes, place a hand over your heart, and silently affirm, I honor the guiding wisdom within me. I release any thought that belittles my worth. Feel how that affirmation gently counters the idea that you are merely livestock corralled by others. You are a magnificent being with inner guidance that deserves your trust. By simply recognizing that external control often stems from cultural conditioning, you take the first step toward dismantling the illusion. You're no longer a passive bystander in your own life. You're the observer, the questioner, and ultimately, the architect of your reality. In that role, you hold the power to shift your life's direction, guided by a deeper sense of authenticity and love. Some might interpret vulnerability as a weakness, something to hide in a world that often prizes independence and stoicism. Yet vulnerability is one of your most potent gateways to emotional freedom. When we talk about being under control, a large part of that narrative hinges on the fear of revealing our true feelings. We hide our tears, quiet our outrage, or mask our confusion. If others never see our softer sides, the thinking goes, they can't manipulate or judge us. But in reality, burying your feelings can reinforce external control because it denies you the chance to understand and own the fullness of who you are. Imagine a pressure cooker. Suppressed emotions are like steam building within, silently intensifying until they eventually erupt, or conversely, until they start corroding your inner life. Either outcome keeps you in a cycle of imbalance. True vulnerability, however, is a conscious choice to acknowledge your emotions, observe them, and let them flow rather than letting them fester. By doing so, you release the hidden grip they have on you. In this sense, vulnerability becomes strength because it sets you free from emotional secrets that keep you controlled. A useful approach is the art of journaling. Take a few minutes each morning or evening to write down the strongest emotions you felt that day. Whether it was frustration with a coworker, sadness over a memory, or even excitement about a future plan. Don't judge these emotions as good or bad. Simply name them. Then ask yourself gently, What does this feeling teach me? Where in my body do I feel it? By doing this, you become an observer rather than a captive of your emotions. This awareness undermines any external attempts to dictate how you should feel or behave. You're reclaiming your emotional narrative. Another practice is to share a moment of vulnerability with someone you trust. It might be as simple as saying, "I've been feeling anxious lately, and it's been hard for me to concentrate." Observe how people respond to your sincerity. Often you'll discover that true vulnerability fosters deeper connections rather than judgment. And if by chance someone criticizes your openness, that tells you more about their limitations than about your worth. Consider using a simple affirmation. I cherish my ability to feel deeply. It leads me to greater understanding of myself and others. Speak this quietly to yourself whenever you sense the urge to hide or dismiss your emotions. Embrace your capacity for feeling as a testament to your aliveness and humanity. The more you honor your inner experiences, the less you remain under any external force that dictates who you should be. Vulnerability is not about oversharing or losing boundaries. It's about authenticity. It's allowing yourself to be real, to have imperfections, and to know that these truths do not diminish your inherent beauty or value. Paradoxically, the very thing we fear will make us weak is what often makes us resilient and unshakable in the face of external pressures. Through vulnerability, you step closer to reclaiming your power, emerging more confident and connected with yourself than ever before. Picture a small seed buried beneath layers of soil. Though unseen, it holds an incredible drive to push upward, break through the dirt, and greet the sunlight. In many ways, self-love resembles that seed. It may be buried under years of self-doubt, harsh judgments, or conditioned thinking that says, "You're not enough." But within you lies a natural instinct to rise, to flourish, and to celebrate who you truly are. Cultivating self-love is one of the most transformative ways to break free from the notion that we are controlled from the outside. Self-love, at its core, is about embracing yourself wholly, flaws, quirks, scars, and all. It is not conceit or egotism. Rather, it is a gentle acknowledgement of your intrinsic value, an internal nod that says, "I have worth simply because I exist." When you allow this understanding to settle into your heart, the external pressures to conform or to please everyone else start to lose their hold on you. A powerful technique to nurture this self-regard is mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror daily, look into your own eyes, and speak words of kindness. At first, it might feel awkward or forced, especially if you've spent years criticizing your reflection. Yet persist gently. Say things like, "I appreciate you," "I am learning to love you," or "You are worthy of all good things." Even if your mind resists these statements, your heart hears them. Over time, this practice can soften your harsh inner critic and remind you that the opinions of others do not define your essence. Another aspect of self-love involves setting boundaries. As you deepen your respect for yourself, you realize that not everyone and everything deserves unlimited access to your energy. Boundaries are an expression of self-care, allowing you to discern what nurtures you from what depletes you. They can be as simple as deciding not to engage in gossip, or as significant as choosing to step away from relationships that undermine your growth. Although setting boundaries might initially evoke guilt or fear of judgment, it ultimately strengthens your self-concept. You affirm that your well-being is worth protecting. You can also practice a short daily affirmation. I am enough as I am. I deserve my own kindness and compassion. Speak it out loud or write it in your journal. These words serve as small seeds of love that, when watered with intention, bloom into lasting self-acceptance. The more you honor yourself, the less likely you are to fall prey to the idea that others have total power over you. Remember, your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. When you foster a kind, understanding bond with the person in the mirror, you naturally radiate confidence. You become less susceptible to manipulation and more in tune with your inner guidance. That sense of wholeness is the antidote to any perception that your life is in someone else's control. In choosing self-love, you reclaim the throne of your own heart, reigniting the luminous spark that was always meant to guide you. Fear and resentment can feel like shackles around our ankles, dragging us down no matter how badly we want to rise. These heavy emotions thrive on the story of us versus them, the narrative that others have done us wrong, leaving us trapped in cycles of blame and bitterness. If we imagine ourselves as livestock in someone else's corral, then fear and resentment are the fences that keep us inside. Yet there are two profound keys that can unlock those gates: gratitude and forgiveness. Gratitude at its simplest is the act of pausing to appreciate what you do have, right here and now. It doesn't ignore life's hardships. Instead, it reorients your perspective to notice even the smallest blessings. Think of it as shining a flashlight in a dark room. The darkness may still exist in the corners, but wherever the beam lands, it illuminates warmth and possibility. By choosing to practice gratitude, whether through writing a list each morning or silently thanking the universe at night, you are training your mind to seek moments of beauty and connection, rather than focusing on everything that's lacking. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is sometimes misunderstood as condoning hurtful actions. In reality, forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the chains of anger and resentment. When you hold on to grudges, you give the perpetrator or situation endless power over your mind and emotions. By forgiving, whether it's your parents, an ex-partner, or even yourself, you're not saying the behavior was acceptable. You are simply deciding you will no longer carry the emotional burden. This liberates your heart to heal and move forward freely. It's like setting down a heavy bag you've been dragging around for years, finally allowing your spirit to breathe and expand. A simple exercise to blend both gratitude and forgiveness might look like this. Take a quiet moment to close your eyes. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, gently acknowledge something you appreciate about your life. Perhaps a loving friend, a stable job, a skill you're proud of, or even a sunny day. Then bring to mind a person or situation that has caused you pain. See yourself placing the burden of resentment in a basket and visualize handing it over to a loving light. Affirm softly, I release this hurt. I set myself free. It may take repeated practice, and some days you won't feel like forgiving. That's okay. Every attempt makes a difference. An affirmation to pair with this practice is, I choose gratitude for all that supports me and forgiveness for all that wounded me. I am free to heal. I am free to grow. By regularly turning your attention toward gratitude, you weaken fear's hold. By practicing forgiveness, you dismantle the bars of old resentment. Together, they create a life where external control becomes increasingly irrelevant because your inner world is guided by compassion, understanding, and love, powers that are infinitely more enduring than any outside force could ever be. Beneath your everyday thoughts, what you might plan for dinner, how you solve problems at work, there lies a vast inner landscape known as the subconscious. This hidden realm holds a trove of beliefs, impressions, and emotional imprints collected over the course of your life. It's where the echo of someone else's disapproval can linger for decades, subtly influencing your choices and self-perception. When we speak of feeling under their control, we often point to how these internalized beliefs shape our reality without our conscious permission. But the empowering truth is that you can rewire these deep-rooted patterns. One approach to this is through affirmations. While a casual glance might see them as mere positive statements, affirmations serve as gentle, persistent nudges that recalibrate the subconscious mind. Each time you affirm something uplifting, such as "I am worthy of love and respect," you create a small crack in the old mental narrative that might have insisted you aren't enough. Repetition is key here, because the subconscious learns through consistency. If you find it challenging to wholeheartedly believe a new statement at first, that's normal. Over time, the consistent exposure to these empowering words allows new neural pathways to form, essentially raising the vibrational frequency of your habitual thinking. Another practice to consider is guided visualization. In a calm, meditative state, you can visualize yourself embodying the qualities you wish to cultivate: confidence, peace, creativity, love. The subconscious mind responds well to vivid imagery combined with emotion. As you imagine yourself radiating those positive states, you're planting seeds in your inner garden that can eventually bear fruit in your outer world. This is one reason many find meditation or self-hypnosis sessions so powerful. These methods bypass the critical, analytical mind and speak directly to the deeper layers of consciousness. You might also explore writing your own empowerment script. This involves articulating in the present tense who you want to become. "I am a creative force, unafraid to express my authentic self," or "I am surrounded by love and opportunities for growth." Read it or recite it daily, letting each sentence sink into your heart. The synergy of spoken word, mental focus, and heartfelt intention can shift your internal terrain significantly. As you rewire your subconscious, your vibration naturally elevates. What does raising your vibration mean in a practical sense? It's the experience of becoming more aligned with optimism, joy, and expansion, and less tied down by limiting beliefs or habitual negativity. In that elevated state, external manipulations lose their power because they rely on fear, doubt, or shame to take root. When you nourish your mind with affirmations of worthiness, your perception of life transforms. You begin to notice opportunities where once you saw roadblocks, and you respond to challenges with resilience rather than defeat. A daily affirmation to reinforce this process: "I am renewing my inner world with love, shaping a reality that reflects my highest truth." Each word is a building block in the sacred structure of your renewed subconscious. And as that structure grows in harmony, you stand taller, your mind clearer, and your heart more open to the boundless freedom that has always been your birthright. Consider how a stressful thought can make your heart race, or how receiving an unexpected piece of good news can instantly relax tense shoulders. These subtle yet profound shifts illustrate the powerful union between mind and body. When we live under constant stress or harbor a sense of being controlled by external forces, our bodies often carry the burden. Headaches, muscle tension, digestive issues. These can be physical echoes of an inner emotional world in turmoil. Tapping into this mind-body connection is an act of self-liberation. By paying attention to physical sensations, you become a loving detective, investigating how your emotions manifest on a bodily level. For instance, if your chest tightens every time you think about a difficult conversation, it could be your body's way of asking for deeper breath, reassurance, or resolution. Rather than ignoring the tension or masking it, you can pause, place a hand gently on your chest, and breathe slowly, affirming to yourself, "I am safe and I am allowed to relax." A practical technique to nurture this connection is mindful breathing. Set aside a few minutes each day to consciously inhale for a count of 4, hold for a brief moment, and exhale for a count of 4. With each exhale, envision any lingering tension flowing out of your body. This practice soothes the nervous system and signals to your subconscious that you are calm and in control. Over time, moments of heightened stress become invitations to return to this centered space rather than spiraling into anxiety. Physical movement can also be a profound pathway to healing. Whether it's gentle yoga, a walk in nature, or simply stretching at your desk, moving your body with intent helps release stored emotions. Think of it as shaking up stagnant energy, creating space for lighter, more affirming energies to flow in. During these movements, you might repeat an affirmation like, "With each breath, I release what does not serve me. With each step, I welcome clarity and peace." And let's not forget the power of rest. Our modern culture often glorifies productivity, pushing us to ignore our body's signals for downtime. Yet proper sleep and relaxation are essential for holistic well-being. If you find it hard to wind down at the end of the day, consider a short, soothing ritual, like sipping herbal tea, taking a warm bath, or reading an uplifting passage. These gentle acts remind your body that you value its need to replenish, undermining any external dictates that you must always be on and in performance mode. An affirmation for nurturing this sacred bond might be, "My body mirrors my thoughts, and I choose peace in every cell." Speak it softly in your mind whenever you feel tense. By honoring the language of your body, you grant yourself the grace to heal from within. You start to break the psychological chains that label you as just another cog in a larger system. Instead, you come home to your own integrated power, a space where self-awareness, emotional clarity, and physical well-being unite to support your highest potential. Have you ever noticed that when you hold a strong belief, your life tends to align with it in ways that feel almost uncanny? This is the essence behind manifestation, that your inner state broadcasts a certain signal and life responds in kind. Many people talk about manifestation as if it's a magical formula. Think positively, and you'll receive riches or miraculous changes overnight. However, the deeper truth is that manifestation is closely tied to something far more profound: your sense of inner authority. Inner authority refers to the deep confidence that your thoughts, choices, and desires matter. When you've been led to feel like just livestock, that your role is simply to follow the herd, it becomes easy to doubt your power. Yet the moment you affirm your own inner authority, you begin to shape your reality from a place of genuine self-worth. In practical terms, this looks like deciding, my dreams are valid, and I will take purposeful steps toward them rather than waiting for someone else's approval. One way to harness this law of inner authority is through clear intention setting. Start each morning by asking yourself, what is my deepest intention for this day? Maybe it's to practice kindness, to make tangible progress on a project, or to nourish a strained relationship with compassion. Write it down or say it aloud. This simple act asserts your ability to direct your energy. Rather than reacting to life's demands, you begin to proactively shape the course of your day. Vision boards are another creative tool. By gathering images, quotes, and symbols that represent your goals and aspirations, you create a visual reminder of where you want your energy to go. As you see this board regularly, you reinforce the idea that you have the power to bring these visions to life. But remember, a vision board is not just about wishful thinking. It's about planting seeds of possibility and then consistently nurturing them with aligned actions. Mindset plays a huge role here. If deep down you believe you're unworthy, no matter how many positive statements you say, you'll still find it challenging to manifest what you desire. This is why the inner work, affirmations, forgiveness, self-love is so vital. It prepares the ground for your seeds of intention to flourish. When you combine a healed self-image with a clear vision, manifestation becomes a natural outpouring of your internal state. Affirm, my intentions are powerful. I trust that my life unfolds in beautiful ways as I honor my deepest desires. Let that statement sink in. The more you embody this truth, the less the outside world can convince you that you're powerless. You stop looking for validation or permission from society, and you begin to direct the course of your own story. Manifestation, then, isn't just about attracting what you want. It's a testament to your sovereignty, a mirror reflecting your inner authority in the outer world. It's the proof that you are far from being anyone's livestock. You are a creative force, forging a path uniquely your own. Freedom from external control isn't a finish line you cross once and for all. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery, healing, and expansion. The steps we've explored, awareness, vulnerability, self-love, gratitude, forgiveness, subconscious reprogramming, mind-body harmony, and manifestation, are not rigid rules, but living principles. They shift and evolve as you grow, reflecting the natural ebbs and flows of life. Each day brings new lessons, new challenges, and fresh opportunities to stand more firmly in your power. Personal sovereignty means recognizing that you are the ruler of your inner kingdom. It doesn't mean you become closed off or indifferent to the world. On the contrary, you remain open-hearted and engaged, but you do so from a place of choice rather than obligation. You give when it feels authentic, you set boundaries when needed, and you speak your truth even if it ruffles feathers. Most importantly, you learn to trust the guidance that arises from within, because you understand that your intuition is a direct line to your highest wisdom. Over time, you may notice that certain triggers or old patterns resurface, attempting to pull you back into self-doubt or resignation. This is normal. Healing tends to happen in layers, and each layer brings deeper clarity about who you are becoming. Instead of seeing these moments as failures, view them as invitations to revisit the practices that have supported you. Perhaps you need to repeat an affirmation more often, return to journaling, or spend time in meditation to recenter. Each revisit strengthens your mastery of these tools. It's also valuable to cultivate a supportive environment. Just as a gardener selects nourishing soil and adequate sunlight for plants to thrive, you can surround yourself with people, spaces, and habits that reinforce your journey. Consider finding a like-minded friend or community where you can share your experiences, challenges, and triumphs. When you feel seen and encouraged, the narrative of being under their control fades further into the background, replaced by a sense of collective upliftment and personal accountability. A helpful affirmation during this lifelong process is, I honor my growth in every season. My sovereignty expands as I learn, heal, and love myself through all changes. Recite it whenever self-doubt creeps in, or when you feel swayed by others' opinions. This affirmation reminds you that personal freedom isn't a static achievement, but a dynamic dance between your inner world and outer experiences. In the end, your path toward personal sovereignty is as unique as your fingerprint. No external authority can define it for you. Each time you honor your needs, protect your peace, and follow your intuition, you take another step away from the illusion that you're merely livestock in someone else's plan. Instead, you stand in the glow of your own light, offering your gifts to the world in a way that only you can, authentically, confidently, and with unwavering self-respect. We began with a haunting echo. We are all under their control. Humans are just livestock. Throughout this journey, we've peeled back the layers of that unsettling belief. From exposing the illusion of external influence to celebrating vulnerability, from embracing self-love to harnessing gratitude and forgiveness, and from rewiring the subconscious to standing tall in personal sovereignty, each step has revealed a timeless truth. You hold far more power than you might have ever realized. Consider all the subtle transformations that occur when you choose a path of self-awareness and compassion. Your mind opens to the possibility that you can question inherited beliefs. Your heart learns to release resentment, making room for peace. Your body responds to self-care by guiding you toward harmony. And your spirit discovers that manifestation is not wishful thinking, but a direct reflection of how deeply you honor yourself. Little by little, the concept of being controlled by others slips away, replaced by a sense of conscious choice. True freedom blooms not from rebellion for rebellion's sake, but from the gentle acceptance of who you are at your core. It's a call to trust your intuition, that quiet, steady voice inside that has been guiding you all along. In a world brimming with distractions, standing rooted in your truth is an act of courageous self-love. Whenever doubt lingers, remember that your worth does not hinge on external validation or approval. It's defined by the unchangeable fact that you are a being of infinite potential, here to learn, create, and grow. This journey is never truly complete. Think of it as a spiral, each turn bringing you back to similar themes, but at a deeper, more enriched level. There may be days when the old voices of limitation resurface, but now you have an array of tools: affirmations, mirror work, journaling, mindful breathing, and conscious intention to realign you with your inner power. Practice them as often as you need. There is no rush, and there is no final exam. There is just you, gently evolving, becoming more radiant and self-aware with every step you take. As we conclude, allow yourself a moment to breathe. Close your eyes if you can, and place your hands over your heart. Affirm softly, I am free to shape my own destiny. I step forward with faith in who I am. Let that statement resonate through your being, dissolving any lingering doubts that you're under anyone's total control. Feel gratitude for this journey, your willingness to explore, to open, and to rise above old narratives. When you carry this light of awareness back into your daily life, you become a beacon for others too. You demonstrate that it's possible to live with integrity, authenticity, and love, no matter what the outside world says. In doing so, you remind us all that we are not livestock, but luminous souls capable of profound transformation. May you continue forward in grace and in confidence, knowing the power to direct your life has always been in your hands and in your heart.